Hello, my name is Andrew Cleminson. Today I'm going to tell you the story of how James Moore, community builder, introduced us to Keith Nicholas, Holistic Fitness for All. It's a cold and grey Sunday morning in Ashburton Park, Croydon. James Moore, community builder, looks towards one of the pedestrian entrances and sees a figure making his way through the gate with the help of crutches. That's him, he calls, as he heads towards fitness instructor Keith Nicholas, still teaching despite his own health challenges that mean he can no longer walk far unaided. Keith has arrived in the park to lead a free 2-hour fitness session for local people. He combines 50 years of experience from the world of martial arts with the latest thinking about physical and mental well-being. Keith explains, "I'm sorry I haven't got all my gear with me today. Under the council's Section 114 notice, they've closed the way to cars and I've had to leave most of my equipment outside and walk in." Keith is used to overcoming challenges and is soon getting chairs out of a lock-up, placing them in a line so he can sit and take the class. Now 69 years old, Keith left India at the age of 10 and came to live with his aunt in Norbury. Although he had a happy childhood, he fell out with his mother at the age of 16 over his long hair and love of motorbikes. He left school at the same time. Fortunately, he had another anchor point in his life, which was his interest in martial arts, where he took part in training sessions in judo, kendo and samurai techniques. Having got married young and had 4 children, Keith brought them up on his own after the breakdown of his marriage. The youngest was 4 at the time, and he took them all along to his classes. They're all grown up now, and Keith has 11 grandchildren. He started his martial arts journey with judo, kendo, and teaching at the Sir Philip Games Centre nearby when he was 25 years old. He explained that he was fascinated by the no resistance, no fighting philosophy of Aikido, and incorporated the defensive nature of his thinking into his teachings. It wasn't long before he was teaching others at several Croydon colleges, local schools and youth clubs as far away as Beckenham and Bromley. He even organised 24-hour marathon displays to raise money for international charities. In Ashburton Park, he started by training on his own with swords. He followed this with shadow boxing, and people would stop him and ask what he was doing. From there, others began to take part in his sessions and the number of participants grew. Keith now teaches people from the age of 7 to 80. He shared, "One man even turned up and joined in with his carer. Both were over 80. The regular sessions in the park have become popular with the local community, but focus mainly on the spiritual and philosophical aspects of well-being and fitness. This includes meditation and shiatsu. The ranks of Sunday's session continue to grow as local people appear in their own bubbles, as required by COVID restrictions, and take up positions in front of their teacher. A group of women on the right working with chairs and bands. A number of others receive instruction from one of Keith's assistants, Andy, who's a black belt in the use of short wooden batons, known as tanbos. A further group led by Natalie, one of Keith's students, work with longer wooden staffs called Joes. There seem to be no barriers to participation. The more experienced help with teaching, which includes bokkens, wooden swords, and sensu, silk fans. Keith explained, "People can grow and take part and lead in their own way. I mould and shape the classes around them. Everyone's welcome." The benefits are clear both in terms of the number of participants and the effects of the programme. Lynn, a recent new joiner, shared, "I couldn't walk across a room before I started Keith's classes. I've now lost a stone in weight, am much more flexible, and can get about better than ever." At the end of the session, James helps Keith pack up his chairs, mats and other items, putting them back into the park lock-up. Together, they pull their coats closer as the wind picks up and then make their way back to Keith's car. "See you next week," says James, "I'll be here," replies Keith. "I always am." Thank you for listening.